and welcome to ZTN Sports Daily, where you get the latest stories from the world of sport. My name is Howard Musonda, and we've got plenty coming your way. Well, coming up on the show, Warriors midfielder explains why he thinks Peter Ndlovu is the greatest of all time. And cricket, Zimbabwe's Blessing Muzarabani leaves open the idea of international cricket return. As usual, Lanza Chihande gives us the trending, exciting stuff on sport from social media. And a blow for Zimbabwe traditional giants if Premier Soccer League starts in empty stadiums. Well, first up, it will not be business as usual for the Premier Soccer League traditional giants if the league is given green light to start. Over the years, the likes of Dynamos, Highlanders and Caps United have relied on get-takings. Now, the sport minister, Kirsty Coventry, has stated that if certain disciplines are allowed to train and then play, they will do so in empty stadiums.
There are no spectators or competition unless specifically authorized, and again, if found in breach, will be immediately shut down and could face criminal sanction. And lastly, it is mentioned that there was no sale of alcohol, but there is further no sale of food to be eaten at venues, facilities, and but takeaways will be allowed.
Still with football now, as the debate on who is the greatest Zimbabwean footballer of all time continues. Warriors midfielder Ovidi Karuru has picked this option. Karuru believes Peter Ndlovu had enough to earn that tag.
The greatest can only be one. It can only be Peter Ndlovu. To me, he's the greatest. Like, you know, when we were kids, we used to wish to be like Peter Ndlovu. Like, you know, like Peter Ndlovu was the darling of everyone in Zimbabwe, and he was performing. Anytime you wore the Zimbabwean jersey, he was, I don't know, like I still remember the days when he used to come maybe 2 hours before the game, straight from the aeroplane to the changing room, and he still performs with the jet lag, you know, traveling from Europe to Africa. You know, the distance is too much, you understand? Like, it's 10, 11, 12 hours flight. He used to come and perform. So I think he's the greatest. No one has ever done it. Whereas
midfielder Ovidi Karuru giving us his thoughts on he thinks is the greatest footballer in Zimbabwe of all time. So we give you that interview in full tomorrow here on Sports Daily. So don't miss out on that one. Still on Sports Daily, in today's football gossip, Everton made a move to sign midfielder Brazilian Alan from Napoli. The Toffees are said to also have made over $30 million offer to Barcelona for French defender Jean-Claire Tobido. Chelsea have decided against using their buyback clause on Sassuolo's Ivory Coast international winger Jeremy Boga. On loan, Brazil midfielder Felipe Coutinho may not play for Bayern Munich again after the Bundesliga leader decided not to sign him permanently from Barcelona. Inter Milan and Argentina striker Mauro Icardi is moving closer to a permanent transfer to Paris Saint-Germain for around $60 million. And cricket, the establishment of a 3-member national women's selection panel by the Zimbabwe Cricket Board could be a step in the right direction for the game. Zimbabwe Cricket confirmed the developments over the weekend, saying this was one of the resolutions passed during the board's meeting. Julia Chibaba, the first captain of the Zimbabwe national women's cricket team, will be the convener of selectors. Thando Mlilo and Emily Njingika complete the list of the selectors. On to tennis now, but we go further afield, and Novak Djokovic insisted that he remains in shape despite the break in tennis tournaments due to the COVID-19 virus. The Serb superstar eased concerns about his conditioning as he revealed that he will continue to stay active while in isolation. And as fans wondered where and how he did his training, Djokovic said he opted not to post clips of his routine because he didn't want to infuriate other players. Back in Serbia, after weeks of quarantine in resort city in Spain, the #1 ranked tennis star has been training as he braces himself for the Adria Tour, a round-robin tournament he has organized himself that is scheduled to run from the 13th of June to the 5th of July. From Mike Tyson's crazy speed and crazy power, which probably makes him the baddest 53-year-old on the planet, to US golfer Bryson DeChambeau walking on straps of tubular webbing stretched between trees. When we come back, Lance Chihande will give us what's happening on social media.
I'd like to encourage you guys to take the corona outbreak virus very seriously, to try by all means to abide by the rules and regulations that have been put forward by the World Health Organization, to try as much as possible to minimize contact with a lot of people, to try as much as possible, if you have any symptoms, to go to the nearest hospital, to report it to any doctors close to you. It is very important for us to take care of our family and friends, to make sure that we minimize the
Now, they say life is all about perspective. How you view the world will shape how you learn, how you behave, who you love, and ultimately how you live. But for the following tennis star, it's surely about perspectives. Check this out. The viciousness in his tennis work is absolutely something to think by. As it said, it's all about perspective. So it's something that he's definitely seeing that maybe we are not, or that his coaches may be seeing. I don't know. But now, the most fascinating thing I saw trending this past entire week was the clip of a 53-year-old man in the gym and hitting the pads, but not just any 53-year-old man, a 53-year-old Mike Tyson, the former baddest man on the planet. Check this. Have you ever noticed one of the most astonishing things about Mike Tyson? It's not about his build at times or how is he actually coming back, but for the longest time, it's always been about Mike Tyson's voice. You would expect him to have a deep, vicious voice like, I'm back, or something like from the Terminator or something, but you see him this time says, I'm back, I've won the past match, and that's how he speaks, and it's quite interesting how his voice and his build don't actually match. Still on Mike, if this clip is any indication whatsoever, and the clip did go viral, I'm here to say that none of us would last even 5 seconds in Mike's world. Not even today, because this video is that amazing. The crazy speed, the crazy power. If I didn't know any better, I would say that that was Mike in his prime. But it is not. It is really Mike at 53, and he is as scary and menacing as he has ever been. Now, next up is a golfer, Bryson DeChambeau, whose single-mindedness is to the point of obsessiveness and very ambitious. He aspires to nothing less than making golf's holy grail. So the word here is consistency. Yeah, the 27-year-old Californian is a physics major who enjoys straplining. He says he does this to enhance his proprioception. In simpler terms, it's just the sense of one's body's position and movement. Here's DeChambeau walking on thin straps of tubular webbing stretched between trees. Oh, by the way, he also taught himself to write his name backwards, left-handed. Why? Because he could. You know, only golfers have the time to do something like that. If you're here in Zimbabwe and you're found walking on thin rope in your yard, people would constantly or start most probably thinking that you're going crazy. Well, that's it for me on this social media watch. Do check me out tomorrow.
England-based fast bowler Blessing Muzarabani is still open to the idea of return to international cricket. This is against the background that his Copac contract with Northamptonshire in the English county cricket is set to be nullified at the end of the year. ZTN spoke to Muzarabani from his base.
Right now, I'm not really sure, but at the same time, the Copac is ending this year, so it might happen. And I mean, if that happens, it will be a blessing as well, because I mean, as a kid, of course, I always want to play for Zim. I always want to represent my family and friends. So now to be given a chance to play again, I mean, it will be a blessing.
So how has Muzarabani been keeping fit during the lockdown, and what has been the feeling living without cricket games?
In the house that we live in, there's equipment in there. There's gym equipment. So we've been doing a lot of fitness. So in the team house, there's teammates in there, and there's Brennan Glover from Netherlands. So we've been doing like partners trainings, and we've been pushing each other. We've been doing, as you can see, we have like the ground facility, and we have the nets as well. So we've been practicing.
Blessing is now 23, having moved to England in 2018 when he was one of the fastest rising stars of Zimbabwe national cricket team. And how was it like when he was first called up for duty at a young age?
I saw names like Brendan Taylor, I saw names like Hamilton Masagas and the big names. It was like, you know, I couldn't believe it, because as a youngster, it always a dream to play with those guys, because as a youngster I always grow up seeing those guys and saying, wow, you know, I wanna play with those guys, you know. So me finding my contact in the group, it was just like a dream come true. And I mean, it was just a lovely moment, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, still now, you know, it's just a lovely memory.
It is with the chevrons that Muzarabani was tasted to the limit. The Zimbabwean fast bowler admits that there are many good times in international cricket, and he names Australia as the worst opponent.
International cricket is really tough. It's not really easy. So I would say, I mean, every team right now is really tough, because cricket is changing. You know, I mean, back in the day, few teams were good, but now it's like almost every team is competing, and they have, you know, the difference, you know, of the players and the skills, you know. So I mean, it's really hard to say this team is tough, this team is not. But at the same time, there's teams like Australia, you know, that, you know, they're really tough, and they ball quick. I mean, they give like batsmen tough times. So I mean, so for now, I'll say Australia.
And Blessing picks the player that he thinks is the greatest.
I'll choose the Australian Mitchell Starc. Mitchell Starc is really good. Why? Because he is really quick, and he performs almost every game. Of course, I would like to play with him, and you know, I would like to ask him a few questions about how he goes about these things. You know, he performs every game, and every game he bowls at the same pace.
In our Olympics update, the Olympics which were postponed to 2021 in Tokyo are not certain, but that has not stopped Zimbabwe high jumping sensation Munyalazi Chadenga from dreaming. Chadenga spoke to ZTN, highlighting his high moments and inspiration.
One of my greatest moments last season was competing at the All Africa Games. It was quite competitive. That's where the gods play, so the atmosphere is quite intense, but it was a good learning experience. My source of inspiration is the Olympics. The Olympics, being there one day. My source of inspiration is also my family, my friends, my coaches, people that surround me that keep on believing in me and pushing me day by day. It takes a village to raise an athlete, and I'm quite grateful for the village that surrounds me.
That's all we had prepared for you on today's edition of Sports Daily. We are back again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Howard Msonza.